All right, guys, what's up, everybody? I just got done with work today. Well, I've been done for a while. Just played 2K for about 2 hours. Uh, pretty awesome Saturday. Just had some time to myself, so I thought might as well go live. I'm testing to see if Saturday is a good day to just have a random live. I'm also testing to see if I need to actually schedule these lives in order to get enough people to come to them to see if they're viable. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my little rant of the title of the video, and then we'll get into any questions that everybody has. If you guys want to ask me questions about eBay, about business in general, if you guys want to ask me any personal questions or anything you would like to talk about, we can talk about those things. I'm down to talk about really anything. So the name and the title of this live is Create Your Own Luck. This is a really cool concept that we can apply into our businesses, into our lives in general, and it can really help us. So a lot of people think that luck is purely fabricated and that we can't create it. But I've actually learned that luck is created. Um, when I was young, I think I was 9, 10, 11, I went to my cousin's basketball game. I can't remember if she was in high school or if she was still in middle school, but I was young. And during halftime of that basketball game, a bunch of us went down onto the court and we started shooting around, and a bunch of us started lobbing up half court shots. And eventually this kid hit one. And I remember saying, man, he's so lucky. And then my grandfather came to me, and he taught me a principle that I didn't understand in the moment, but it has changed my life since then. And he said nothing about that shot was lucky. He had enough skill, he had enough strength, and he had enough direction to make the shot. And yes, it was a harder shot to make, but nothing was lucky about that shot. He said, go out into the parking lot, like half a mile away, turn the opposite direction and throw the ball, and no amount of luck will make that ball go into the basket. He said you have to go and create your own luck by getting strong enough to throw the ball, by throwing the ball in the right direction and acquiring the skills and putting in the time necessary to be able to make that shot. Because did it require a little bit of luck for a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old to make a shot from 45 feet away? For sure. But if he would have just, like my grandpa said, went out in the parking lot and chucked it a different direction, no chance at all. So that leads me to one of the books that has changed my business and my financial perspectives, and that is The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a really awesome book. A quick preface here. It's a fictional book about the richest man in Babylon. He ended up being richer than the king. So the king asked him, how did you accumulate this wealth? And he goes on to tell him. And then the king says, you're going to have to teach everyone this. We want Babylon to be the richest place in the world. So go ahead and teach everyone who will come and listen. So this man, the richest man in Babylon, he sets up this time to teach people about wealth and finances. It's a really good book. You guys should really read it. It's only like 65 to 80 pages long. It's a really short one, but the principles in that book can set you up for financial freedom for the rest of your life. But one of the chapters, there's a young man who says, well, what about people who just get lucky? What about people that bet on the right horse? Or what about people that cast the perfect lot? This was during the Roman times in Greek mythology. And so they said, the goddess of luck, Lady Luck, favors other men, but she doth not favor I. And then he went on to explain this principle of creating your own luck. If you just sit on the couch and think that you're going to luckily obtain a Ferrari, you're not going to get it. But if you create your own luck, if you get up and work every day and you go to where Ferraris are, or you do something that will accumulate enough wealth to buy the Ferrari, you'll be able to do it. But you have to create your own wealth. That is a principle that I completely believe in, that you can actually go out and create your own luck. Because YouTube, for example, I've been I've been very lucky. I can't believe that I already have, I think it's like 3,500 subscribers already. I've only been doing this for 3 weeks. That's awesome. I'm so appreciative of that. But if I never took the time to make the YouTube channel, I couldn't be lucky. If I didn't take the time to watch people who know more about YouTube than me, it would be significantly harder to be lucky. And if I didn't post videos as often as I have, it would be significantly harder than that to get lucky. So you got to go out there and create your own wealth. So that's the little business tip / rant for the day. I'm only seeing a few questions. Most of them are comments. So this might not end up being a Q&A. It might just be a short little rant that I end up posting as a video. So if you guys have any questions, want to ask me anything about eBay, about business in general, about my personal likes, hobbies, beliefs, what I like to do, if you want to ask me anything personal, you can go ahead and do that as well. But yeah, so I'll just go ahead and start getting into the comments. There's currently 4. It looks like this is going to be a pretty short one. So Rebuild and Flip just gave me a nice muscle emoji. Kelly says, hi, I love your videos. Thank you very much, Kelly. They said you are in the stock market. What about crypto? Yeah, so I have a few different investments. I don't know the legality of talking about them on YouTube quite yet. I know you can talk about them for entertainment purposes, but I am not a CPA nor a stockbroker, so I won't be giving any advice here. But yes, I do have some cryptocurrency. I actually made a little bit of money off of the Dogecoin to the moon rip, so that was a good time. Adventures with Victoria, she says, love that analogy. Thank you so much. We really do got to create our own wealth here. We got to create our own luck. And that is all of the comments and questions that we have. So looks like, okay, so we were about to end this, but it looks like Christopher has a question. He says, do you sell in different categories and also different platforms? Yes, I do sell in different categories. I am a true everything seller. The definition of everything seller is kind of ever changing, and people say different, I guess, definitions of it. But my highest category that I sell in only accounts for, I think, 7% of my sales. So I sell, last year, I think I ended up selling in 146 categories. I sell a lot of stuff. There's some stuff that I don't sell. Like I don't sell women's clothing. I mean, they trickle in here and there. Sometimes I find them on men's racks, but I just know more about men's clothing. I could learn more about women's clothing, but it's a lot more difficult, a lot of different things, that nuances in the women's clothing, plus returns are like triple that of men's clothing. So I kind of stay away from those. I do not sell on other platforms. I sell exclusively on eBay, not because I think it can be very beneficial to sell on other platforms. I just know that if I chase 2 rabbits, they both get away. So if I'm splitting my time amongst a bunch of different things, I'm not going to do as well as if I just completely focus on getting good at one thing. And when you cross post, you are on your phone all day long, listing, taking down this because it sold at Poshmark, and then you forgot to take it down on eBay. So now it sells on eBay. Now you don't have it. You get a huge defect. All those good things, all that great stuff. So I don't sell on multiple platforms for multiple reasons. There's a couple of them, but yes, you can make a full-time living on just eBay or just Poshmark or just Facebook Marketplace. You can also make a full-time living dividing your attention to all 3 of those, plus Mercari and Amazon, all those places. So you got to do what's best for you and your situation. But me personally, I strictly sell on eBay, and then every once in a while I'll sell a huge vacuum or a huge like KitchenAid mixer on Facebook Marketplace, local pickup only. Cameron Rose 3 said, I need more ideas for sourcing. I'm realizing that I really dislike yard sales. I have done okay with Goodwill. Yeah, so there's a few different ways to source. To be honest, yard sales and thrift stores are one of the best ways to source, and it's especially for beginners. But as you keep going to more and more yard sales and more Goodwills, be conscious of people around you, be very friendly, make friends, and new doors and new sourcing opportunities will begin to open for you. For example, I live about 2.5 hours from Las Vegas, and they have some crazy bins down there. Man, their Goodwill bins are nuts. Um, I'd much rather spend more time with my wife and my family than be traveling to Las Vegas every week. So I went to Las Vegas every week for like 6 weeks, and I just was doing the Goodwill bins thing, getting a ton of items, which was awesome for my business. But then I noticed a bunch of regulars, guys and gals that I would see there every week. And I started talking to one of them and said, "Hey man, like do you sell full time? What do you do?" And he says, "Yeah, I do. I just take all this stuff to flea markets, and I'm mostly just here for clothing, but I like to, mess around in the hard goods as well." And I said, "Sweet. So you don't sell remotes or anything of that nature?" And he said, "No, like I'll sell like Xbox controllers and PlayStation controllers, but that's about it." So I said, "Sweet. Why don't you pick up every single remote you see, and I will give you money for it?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." So that guy is just consistently going to Goodwill bins in Las Vegas every single day. Then he comes up to my town every other week, sometimes 3 times a month. He just shows me his box, and sometimes it's 60 remotes. One time it was 400, which was awesome. Sometimes it's just 15 or 20, but he's constantly getting that for me. So that's another way of sourcing, is just making those relationships. Here in town, I also have a guy that does storage units who gets me all those similar items as well, because he does not want to sell them and he just throws them away. So I'm able to step in and purchase those from him. So Christopher said, "Do you have a certain niche?" I don't. I do sell. So all of this is for sale. These men's clothing in my closet. I sell a ton of electronics. I sell blenders and kitchen appliances. I sell shoes. I sell Wi-Fi routers. I sell baseball mitts, sporting equipment. I sell a little bit of everything. It's really fun. Adventures with Veronica is also giving some advice here. She says, "Have you reached out to friends, family, and neighbors to let them know you will take anything they're discarding?" That's a good way too. Sometimes people just hear, "Hey, do you want my garbage?" and they give you terrible items. But a lot of times you can get some good stuff out of that. My mom has given me a ton of items to put online, as well as my grandparents and a few others give me some stuff that I sell online. So that's awesome. Rebuild and Flip says, "I sell auto parts." Yep, I sell those as well. I just listed a BMW HVAC climate control, so that'll probably sell pretty quickly. I sell a ton of OEM stereos and radios, and then I also sell headlights and things like that when I come across them. Another very, what's the word, underrated thing to sell on eBay is also showerhead units, showerheads, and also like faucets and things like that sell really well. People are always looking to just find that small little upgrade in their home. Mark says, "Okay, good analogy. 2 rabbits." Yeah, that's a principle that's really helped me in my life, especially having my ADHD. Is when I focus on way too many things at the same time, they all kind of get away from me. So I have to take a step back and really focus on things. Front Porch Ministries says, "Thank you for all you do for people to learn better about eBay." Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to be honest, like my YouTube channel it's for monetization. I want to make money through YouTube, but principally I want to share as much value as I can. I want people to learn how to actually leverage what they're doing online and make money while they're here. So I really hope that I can continue to affect people and teach people how to be better eBay sellers and just better business people in general. I love not only eBay, but I love just business, and eBay is one of the best businesses out there. I just shared this live with people I'm following. Thank you, Christopher. Front Porch Ministry says, "I also really appreciate your Christian perspective and that you're not afraid to share your faith. I don't follow anyone with foul language." Yeah, so that's actually something that I'm going to talk about. I've been invited on several podcasts already. One of the things that I want to talk about is you are not for everyone. So, for example, sometimes people hear that you're a Christian or you talk about your faith, and they immediately click away. And on the opposite side, if you swear and you have a foul mouth, people immediately click away. But that's okay. You should be you. You should find what you're doing, and you should just do it. You can help a lot of people by just being you. You're not going to be for everyone. I get negative comments all the time, but I don't care. I'm not for everyone. That's to be expected. Simple Cap says, lately I've sold more items on Poshmark than eBay, and for a little higher price than what I had listed on eBay. Yeah, that's awesome. Everyone's business is a little different. I probably, could do the same thing, but it just doesn't really work for my business plan and the lifestyle that I want to live. I want to, just do slightly different things. But if that is working for you, I say keep doing it. Wow, 400 emotes is amazing. Yeah, of those 400, I think 160 were worth listing individually. And then the other ones I just have in lots of 27, 30, 15, 10. So yeah, it's very cool to get 400 emotes at the same time, especially for as cheap as we got them. Cameron says, wow, I wonder how people get others to source for them. That's awesome. Yeah, I explained that a little bit. There's a ton of different ways. So yeah, it's not, those relationships aren't built overnight. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of focused effort, but you can find those opportunities. Where do you find auto parts? My husband wants to do that. I find them in thrift stores all the time. So in Utah, the Deseret Industries, you walk right in and you're surrounded by clothing, and then you get to the back and there's electronics. And then they have doors that go outside to what's called the yard area. And in the yard area, there's a ton of like sporting equipment, some outdoor patio furniture. And then there's a section where they have tools. So I find a lot of drills and batteries. And amongst those, I find not a ton, but I find a good amount of stereos and car stereos and car parts. I find a good amount of car stereos and radios. The car parts are few and far between, but I get a few items here and there, at least weekly. Need Assistant says, your eBay channel is my favorite by far. The money you'll make will be tied to the alley. I think value is what they meant to say, value you provide. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. So Gary Vanderchuk says, give more value than you can give, and you will soon receive more value than you can give. So I really think that just giving extreme amounts of value in each of my videos is very beneficial for you guys, as it is beneficial for me. So I really appreciate that. Does the title structure change for handbags versus clothing? Slightly. What you want to do is just right off the bat, primarily, you want to list things how customers search for them. So eBay has instructed us that people care about brand, and then after brand, they type in what the item actually is. So primarily, if you have a bag, let's say it's Prada. If you have a Prada bag, that's cool. Also, it might be fake, so look it up. But how I would list that is Prada handbag, or if people search more than handbag, purse, I would put purse. Or if they search more than purse, they search shoulder bag. You just have to do your research on what your customers are actually searching. If you have a store subscription, you can go to Terapeak and you can type in and do some research, and it will tell you what people typically search. I don't know if you guys have seen in my YouTube comments, I'm sure people don't pay that close of attention. It's probably only me that sees it. But when I did that video about the Blue Line VHS player, it is actually a VHS player. But in the video and on my eBay titles, I put them as VCR players. I know that they are not technically VCR players, but through my research, I have learned that that is how people type them into eBay. So that is how I list them in eBay, as Panasonic VCR players. Then I put the model, then I put keywords like Blue Line. It's so just reading through here. I'm really hoping you guys are enjoying this. I can't believe that people come to watch me live. This is really awesome. This is a kind of a dream come true. So thank you guys for being here. It says, have you had inventory where you had just had for too long and would have to just donate, or do you sell everything? So I have a markdown strategy. Okay, so at the beginning of eBay, you suck. Like you're not super good at it, right? So I was the same. I wasn't super good at finding items that people want. I'd listen to other YouTubers who would give like okay advice, but not like amazing advice, not calling anybody out. It's just kind of what happens. So I would pick up things that would sell, but they didn't have very high sell through, and I wasn't the best at title structure or pricing at the beginning. So I would build. I built my eBay store up to 500 items, and then I went through and I saw all the items that kind of sucked that weren't selling, and I set them all to $2.99 plus shipping. And I got rid of a ton of items, and then what was left, I just donated. And that brought me all the way down to 350. Then I built up to 600, and then I donated like 70 items. Then I built up to 1,000, and there was only like 30 items that I wasn't proud of, so I got rid of those. And then I built up to 1,800. I really combed through. I got my store down to 1,650, and now it's back up to about 2,100. And I hadn't donated items since because I've gotten significantly better at this job, just as you will as you continue to do so. But with that being said, I also have a markdown strategy. So if items sit for too long in my store, for me, that's 45 days. If items have sat for 45 days, I put them for 15% off. If they sit for an additional 45 days, after that, I put it to 20% off. After another 45 days, 25. After another 45 days, 30. And if they haven't sold after 45 days of 30% off, I donate them. I haven't had to do that. So that markdown strategy appears to be working. Plus, I'm buying good items that people want. So I don't have to do that anymore. So that's nice. So I'm just going to go to another question here. It says, what is your average sales for you on eBay? Right now, it is at about 18 sales per day. During January and February, around tax season, I was selling for 3 weeks. I sold 28 on average for 3 weeks, which was awesome. During the slow months, I think for the next few months, I think I will hover anywhere between 16 to 20. But then once September comes, I think I'll be back up to the 30s because summer slowdown, seasonality, it's a real thing. So right now I'm building up a war chest. I'm still listing the same amount of items every day. My active store is increasing a little bit. And then come Q4 and Q1, everything will start selling significantly faster. So yeah, about 16 to 20 is my average right now. What kind of phone or photo cam do you use to take your pictures or listings? I use my iPhone. I had the iPhone 10 or XR, I can't remember. And then just a few weeks ago, both my wife and I got the newest iPhone. I think it's the 14. I have a question. What are some great size boxes you keep handy? I've collected a lot of random boxes here and there. I keep them in the shed and I spend 20 minutes trying to find the right size. My favorite go-to box is 12 by 12 by 12. Almost everything fits in that. And then I'll do a video on how to do the simplest of Frankenboxing. When people think of Frankenboxing, they think of like this really elaborate thing. Most of my items fit into a 12 by 12 by 12, but most of my items aren't 12 inches tall. So I just put them in the box. They're usually like 6 to 8 inches tall. I put bubble wrap around them, and then I just cut the box down to 7 inches, 8 inches, whatever the height of the item is. But 12 by 12 by 12 is my go-to. And then for like receivers and VCR players and stuff, I think it's a 20 by 14 by 6. I have a ton of those on deck as well. So thanks for the question. That was a great one. Sublime90 says hi. Hi. Some people are having some conversations in the chat. So I'm scrolling past these. And then, should boxes be super close to the packed items, or is airspace okay with packing? Kind of curious on opinions on this. A lot of people teach how to ship, but they don't talk about boxes. So I don't want things rattling in a box. So there's a couple ways that you can take away the rattling. The first is I put my items in a ton of bubble wrap, and then if needed, I have some of these. I don't even know what these are called. Air cushions. I believe these are overrated. They're okay, but the best thing to use is just more bubble wrap, or you can put some what's it called, newspaper in there. That's a little overrated as well. But just make sure that the item is not moving in the box. That's what creates a lot of problems in the shipping process. I'm moving towards sourcing online only. Thrift stores near me closed down. The rest are trash. Wow, that is actually pretty wild to hear. Where are you from? I've never heard of an area that has all of their thrift stores going out of business. That's interesting. But yeah, I have a couple videos already on how to do some online sourcing. I'll continue to produce those because that is one of the biggest hacks that eBay is that no one will talk about, because that is the secret for a lot of big guys. So I'll continue to roll those videos out. Transparent Pokemon says, hey man, sorry tuning in late. No worries. How many times do you post a day? I launch 25 listings every morning at 6:30 a.m. 25 every single day, including Saturdays and Sundays, because I have a draft bank. Rye Gamble says, hi, how many items do you list a day? 25. Thanks. Snugglebug says, can you give us that list that your employee follows? Yeah, I'm going to make a video on that specifically, and I'm going to not only include clothing, but I'm going to do remotes and all of them. So yeah, that video is coming out shortly. Terapeak is only for store subscribers. I believe so. I think you have to have at least the basic store to have it. I could be wrong, but I believe you have to have a store subscription. And then Victoria just corrected me and said anyone can use Terapeak, even sellers with no stores. So thanks. I'd love a video on tips for researching in Terapeak if you are inspired to make one. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool video too. I also have a poll. I'm not sure how to direct you guys to it. A lot of people have already voted, but I've asked what video would you guys like to see, how to make $100 a day, $200 a day, $500 a day, $1,000 a week, or $10,000 a month. You guys can go ahead and vote on that. It seems like people want to know how to make $10,000 a month. So that may be a future video here shortly. Tips on how to start and grow a YouTube channel like yourself, LOL. Yeah, that, not an expert on that yet, but what I've done is I've just created as much value as possible. My first, like, I'm going to say this humbly because I understand that like growth on YouTube is exceptionally hard and it's usually not quick like this for other people. So I take this with a grain of salt, but my first 11 videos averaged 7 views each. Like, you know, what you got to do is put up as much quality content. This is anecdote. Sorry, anecdote's kind of a big word. Some people, I didn't know what anecdote was until like 3 years ago. Anecdote is personal experience. So from my personal experience, what I think is happening is YouTube needed to gather that information about my channel and about the few people watching it. And then once I got to about 100 subscribers, it kicked it out to a bunch of people. So you have to be patient and make a ton of quality content, as much of it as you can in as little time as you can. And then YouTube gathers information on that and then pushes it out. Right now, I feel like I'm in that another stage of where YouTube is gathering a ton more information on all of you guys. And then I think it's about to spit me out a ton to another demographic of people, which I'm pumped it happens. But yeah, I'm just enjoying just give so the question how to grow fast on YouTube, give extreme value, like extreme value, and then just be patient and let YouTube learn about you and your audience. Be very patient. For me, I just had to be patient for 11 days, which I'm super grateful for. But a lot of, from what I hear, people have to be patient for 9 months, a year for things to really start rolling. So it says I have 3 to 5 minutes. Oh, she's in Connecticut. The person who their stores are closing down. They closed now. So the closest one is a 30-minute, but it has really low value stuff for too much to make profit. I'm literally finding the same items on eBay for cheaper. Yeah, that happens. So it's unfortunate, but there is a lot of online opportunities. Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you. No, thank you. I want only real information here. We're 30 minutes in already. That's awesome. We're only down to 3 more comments left. So we'll go ahead and end the video if I don't continue to get more questions. But I will stay here and continue to answer questions if you guys would like to ask me anything. Like I've said, I can talk about anything eBay business related, eBay or business related. You can also ask me any questions about me personally to get to know me a little bit better. So do you wash all your clothes you get before you sell or ship them? So my thrift store is awesome. They all the thrift stores in my area really wash the clothes before they put them on the rack. So I don't, because they're in really good clean condition. That's a huge blessing, because I know that other thrift stores in other areas do not do that. It says here, I work full time and I find it hard to do listings during the week after I get off. Photography is fun, but the process of research pricing on an item sometimes feels daunting. Yeah, that's true. So I do the majority of my work in the morning, and if I'm lazy or not feeling like super down to get work done, I try to convince myself, oh, well, I can just finish my listings tonight. And I have the discipline to just do that, but oh man, dude, it's so freaking hard to, like, if you develop a routine and then you break away from that routine, at least for me, it's so hard to actually later on in the day instead of before noon. It's tough on me. But yeah, the research part, it can definitely be daunting, especially in the beginning, because it's hard. But all it takes is reps. You just got to keep getting your reps in. You got to keep watching videos to learn, and just keep doing research every day. And sorry guys, keep doing research in eBay. Sorry, I'm smiling because someone just donated $3, and that is the first money that I have ever made in YouTube. So that's really cool. Thank you so much. I'm gonna take a picture of this real quick. So yeah, and it says here, thanks for answering my questions. Can I ask more? Yeah, of course. This is what these channels are for. On that note, I don't expect anyone to make donations to this channel. I did set up the super likes, the super chats, and you can also sign up to be a member for exclusive content for $2.99 a month, and then more exclusive content at $6.99 a month. You don't have to do that. My goal is to provide as much value as possible. But if enough people are interested in sign up for those programs, what I eventually want to do is to do a weekly podcast, and that portion will be only for members that sign up for $6.99 a month. But we're nowhere near that yet. But if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know, because that is I'm still learning a ton about YouTube. So I'm just doing a bunch of I'm just exploring all the features and seeing what's going on. But that was, wow, thank you so much. You know how, like, in business, when you make your first dollar and you put it on the wall, that was one of those moments here. Thank you so much. That was so cool. Okay, let me get back here. Do you want to show your clothes? Thank you. Full time feels daunting. Mark says, good idea on how to earn X amount per month. Maybe start your lower amounts, like $500 a month. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I would make a video on how to make 100 a day, then how to make 200 a day, and then how to make 1,000 a week, which is actually less than 200 a day, and then make the 10,000 a month. But a lot of people are interested in the $10,000 a month video. So I want to give the people what they want, but also keeping in mind Tom Ford, the first owner and the first owner of Ford Motive Industries. He said, if I listened to everyone, I would have made a better horse. So sometimes you have to do what you think is best and be innovative. And then he created the car. But yeah, I always have those things in mind, but I want to give you guys what I want and what you want, and also what I think is the most valuable for people in the community. So, come on, people, hit the like button. Thank you, Snugglebug4TM. 53 people are currently on, and we have 22 likes. That's awesome. Those are some good ratios there. We've been on for 35 minutes, so we're averaging about a like every minute and 30 seconds. Pretty good. How many items do you have listed in your store? I currently have 2,100, and I'm currently growing by about 4 items a day because I list 20. Oh no, so I'm growing by about 6 or 7 a day because I list 25 a day, and I'm selling about 18 or 19 a day. I only started watching you this week and really like your approach and style. Thank you, Lindy. What brands do you like to keep for yourself when you find them? Okay, here's where I become super unrelatable. I have no emotional attachment to my items whatsoever. This is strictly for business. I've kept one item my whole time doing this, and that was a pair of the Ohio State, what are those called? They're not flip-flops. They're like pajama flip-flops, I guess. I don't know. And I only kept those for like 5 days and then decided to sell them. I don't know. I'm just really weird. I'm a really minimalist person. I don't need a ton of stuff. And I'm here to buy things to sell them, not to buy them to keep them. So I don't keep any brands for myself. I think I've kept one shirt, and it was the Cool shirt, Kuhl. So yeah, I guess I'm walking back now. But the Cool company, I did keep one of their shirts because that was freaking dope. What do you think of all the Bay shippers using bad shipping methods as UPS and stuff? I noticed rates going up due to misuse or incorrect weights on labels and type of shipping service. So I don't. I think I understand what you're saying. I don't understand it completely. So if you want to ask another question after my answer to clarify it a little more, if I don't answer it correctly, I think that people just need to learn how to do their business and how to do shipping, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. I personally don't feel affected by people who are making mistakes. I don't feel personally affected when another YouTuber gives out a BOLO list and saturates a market. I don't let those things affect me because I just have this mentality that I'm going to overcome and supersede, and I'm going to continue to do my best. So it doesn't affect me what other people are doing. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I would recommend that people take more time and really learn about what they're doing in their business, because not only is it going to help them, but it's also going to help all of us. It's also going to help eBay buyers have a better experience. It's going to be better for everyone. The more you know, knowledge is power. So I really encourage everyone to really learn their shipping methods. And on that note, that is my most requested video. So I will be making a video. I already did some screen recordings of my business policies, and I'll be showing you guys how I do flat rate shipping and how I do calculated shipping. So those are coming. Do you run promotions? If so, do you have a strategy? Yes, I do 2.6% promotions on every single item, no matter what it is. There are some items that do not need promotions to sell. But I don't have the time to go in and uncheck or put a different one here, a different one there for this category, for that category, for this item, for that item. I just do a flat 2.6% on all of my items. It seems to work well for me. So that's what I do. Looks like you guys are asking a good amount of questions. I appreciate that. Keep asking them, and we can keep going. 45 watching. That's amazing for your first live. Congrats. This is actually my third live. If you guys want to watch my other 2 lives, one of them was 2 hours. The other one was 1 hour. I know that's a really long video, but if you'd like to support me in a roundabout way, fall asleep with those videos on your TV, and I will get extra AdSense revenue. Red turned red. I don't know what that means. Good info is valuable. A couple bucks for a bit of your time is no biggie. Yeah, thank you so much. That was, I mean, I will remember Scythe forever. That was awesome. Thank you so much. LOL messed up. I usually watch Harry Tornado and Commonwealth Picker, and you popped up, so I've been watching the past week, and you have excellent information. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. I also watch Harry Tornado and Commonwealth Picker and Flipper. Those are both two awesome gentlemen, and their wives are great supports and do a lot on their channels as well. So that's cool. Whoa, $2,100. Do you pay for the store? Yes, I pay the premium store subscription. So yeah. What items won't you sell? So I've talked about it a little bit. I don't sell a lot of women's clothing just because there's just so many nuances to the different styles and fits, and there's just a ton of returns on them. So I don't want to take the time to learn all the different nuances, and I also don't want the returns that come with women's clothes. I know a lot of people make a killing on women's clothes. So if you take the time to learn about it, yeah, then it's awesome. It's just not something that I sell. Another thing that I don't like selling is, I don't know. There's like things that I used to pick up that I don't really pick up. Not a lot of examples are coming to mind, but there's just a few things that you learn along the way that you're like, oh, a lot of people could make money off of these sorts of items. I just don't. It just doesn't fit my business model and my personality, and that's perfectly fine as well. Do you have any tips for researching and understanding a new niche of items? I've been doing okay with old books here and there. Clothing and shoes are something I want to learn. Not sure if it's saturated. Yeah, here's the title. The best tip that no one talks about is there's no such thing as saturation. There are a lot of people that do something, but unfortunately, it's fortunate if you know what you're doing, but 90% of people get 10% of sales, and 10% of people get 90% of sales. If you're really good at what you do, you're going to be part of that 10% that gets the majority of sales. And if you're really bad at what you do, you're going to be part of the large majority that don't get very many sales. So if you have really good listings, and if you have really good prices and really good policies for shipping and returns, and you do research and you use correct keywords, there's no such thing as saturation. So yeah, I love it when I find shirts that have tens of thousands sold, because I've learned how to get on page one. And then so that was the second part of your question. The first part is, how do you do research to get into those niches? A lot of it is just looking up every single item you touch on eBay solds. I have a few other videos on how I do research for keywords that applies for niches as well. If you haven't seen my most popular video, I think it's called "This One Tip Exploded My Sales on eBay." I dive in on how to do research to find items that sell for more money and sell faster. There's a lot of things you can do on the eBay app with the navigation screen. You can type in sunglasses, and then you can set it to sold. And then you can also set it to a minimum sales price of $30. And then you can just look through and you'll say, oh, Oakley. I see a lot of Oakleys that sell for at least $30. Oh, Ray-Ban. Okay, I'm going to look for Ray-Ban as well. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of, another brand that I sell a lot is Ralph Lauren sunglasses. I'm seeing a lot of those. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of Coach sunglasses. I'm seeing a lot of Fossil sunglasses. And you just look through all those sales and you remember the names and the brands, and then okay, if I find something, this is more than likely going to sell for at least $30. You can also set it to $100, $50. You can also set it to $20. There's a lot of really good money in things that sell for $20 plus shipping. So just that's probably the fastest way to learn how to sell. So I would just go to shoes, and I would type in shoes. And then I'd go to sold. I'd go to used. I'd go to sold. And then I'd go for at least $30. And I'd look through. and I'd notice patterns of brands, of styles, and of things like that. How long did it take you to go full time? Actual days, probably like 5 months. Of focused effort, probably 2 months. Once I got to 600 listings, I was selling 9 a day, and my average profit was over $35. And then I decided to put a ton more time into it, and then I got up to 1,500 items, selling like 14 a day for an average profit of about 30. And now I'm at 2,100 items, selling about 20 a day for an average profit of about $26. Can you please repeat what you said about joining a group? I've talked about a few different things of that sort. I think you might be referencing the Reseller Nirvana group. I joined the Reseller Nirvana group with Daily Refinement and Tech and Sports. It's $35 a month. If you guys want me to be completely honest with you, I kind of already know kind of what I'm doing on eBay, so I don't really need the information. I really just joined the group because it has like 2,500 people focused on eBay reselling, and I kind of used it as a place to leverage people that are interested in eBay selling and eBay reselling YouTube content. And it's a nice place to get a ton of people who are very interested in what I talk about on YouTube. You can, Chris and Tech and Sports will be the first guys to tell you can learn almost everything in their group outside of their group. They have a couple little, they have like 3 or 4 really, really, really good things that aren't spoken outside of the group. That makes it worth signing up. I think it's worth it for really a ton of beginners and even a ton of seasoned eBay resellers to join the group. It's an awesome experience, and it's also a place to build connections as well. Been reselling for 3 months. Your videos are helping me so much. Much appreciated. What tips do you have for newbies like me? I mean, that's what my channel is all about, is tips for newbies and beginners and seasoned sellers. Just keep watching the videos. The best tip is to just go slow, learn. Don't be afraid of failure. Use failure as your steps towards success. Greg Britt says, yes, fall asleep with YouTube videos running. I do it all the time to push the views up. Yeah, that's what I did for, I usually fall asleep to Commonwealth Picker, and sometimes to Daily Refinements videos. I think that Discords that sell discounted shipping labels are contributing to the price hike. Regular people don't buy that many labels, so core users of USPS are getting a discount. It's hurting USPS. USPS gets hurt every single year because they're an awesome service, but they're a terrible business. USPS hasn't been profitable, I think, ever. I think they had like one profitable year in like 1992. But they lose money every single year. So they're not going anywhere. The government steps in, takes care of them. And so, yeah, there's nothing to worry about from USPS. But what sucks about that is because they're subsidized from the government, they have no real incentive to actually be better. So don't expect USPS to get better, and don't expect them to go anywhere. I honestly think they do a great job. So I use USPS every day of my life, and it's awesome. I've been trying to get into women's pants, but they want too much and ask for too much. Women's tops are returned 3 times as much as men's tops, and women's pants are returned 3 times as much as women's tops. So women's pants, people make millions of dollars a year. It's very possible. I stay away from them just because of those high return rates. I didn't even know about the gem drops. Wow, yeah. Gem drops. I don't know what that's referring to. Found some promoted listings just coming in. Sorry if it's been answered. No worries. Feel free to ask me the same questions over and over again. I'd love to love to answer all questions. I promote all of my listings at 2.6%, no matter what they are. Like I've said, you don't need to promote all your listings. Some listings will sell without promotions, but I don't have the time to keep going back and forth and changing. So I just put all of them at 2.6%. Adventures with Victoria. Love Chris's content. I found you as I was watching his video today. I've been thinking about joining his group. Yeah. Chris is awesome. Him and I we've emailed each other a few times, and then he interviewed me on his one of his morning calls, and then we have a couple things in the works that we're gonna do a few videos together. So that should be cool. He's a really cool guy. His group is awesome. It can really take you places. All right, we just got a few more questions here. One burner he answered and says is 2.9. It's actually 2.6, but that's very close. No worries on all of his items. I feel that I had to restart on eBay. I had 800 plus items. Now I got 345. Less sales, but same money. Can't wait to grow now. Yeah, sometimes you got... So Mr. Wonderful off of Shark Tank, he says sometimes you just gotta take the old cow behind the barn and put a ball between her eyes. Like sometimes what you're doing just isn't working. On the topic of Chris at Daily Refinement, I think he got his store up to 30,000 items at one point and took all of them down and completely started over from zero. He had 30,000 active items. He ripped it all down and started from zero. Sometimes you just got to do that. So don't be afraid to take her behind the barn. Do people in your house that help? Do you have people in your house that help you with your eBay business? I have one employee. She does all the shipping and prepping for me. And then just recently I trained her on how to list men's shirts. So she has been doing that as well. And then if I am ever behind, my wife is always happy to help clean a few items that I need to get listed. And she does USPS drop-offs here and there for me as well. But I run a pretty tight ship here. It's not often that she has to help out with things like that. I'm actually a guy, haha, screen name, LOL. No worries, Lucy. If you want to just type your name that you want me to refer to you as from now on, you can do that. Do you find yourself sighing out loud when you have to look up shirt, hat, or other clothes? I'm always sighing at how much of a pain it is. I don't fully understand your question. Are you talking about like... Yeah, sorry. If you want to rephrase that differently so I can understand it a little better, I can give you a better answer. How much time do you spend on taking pictures of items? Oh, wait, I think I skipped one. I think someone asked me... Oh, no. Okay, I'm getting there. How much time do you spend on taking pictures of the items? Usually 30 seconds, sometimes 45 seconds. Taking pictures isn't a super long process for me. The next question leads right into that. Do you list on your phone? I do list on my phone. And I'll show you guys how that process in a video as well. That's a highly requested video as well. I list from my phone. All of my listings are from my phone, and I use my iPhone to take the pictures and to list the items. Do you take all the pictures of your stuff and then do the drafts? Yes. So what I do is I do a full listing, and then instead of hitting list your item, I hit save for later, and that puts it in the draft. And then I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and I launch 25 of my drafts. International sales, any strategies or thoughts? Absolutely do international sales. I've said this a ton of times and I will continue to say it. There are more eBay buyers outside of the United States than there are inside of the United States. So definitely have international sales set up so you can get those extra sales. Another really cool thing about the new international program is we ship our stuff to eBay. eBay inspects the package to make sure the item is described correctly, and then they send it out from there. If for whatever reason the customer wants to return the item, you are not affected whatsoever. eBay takes full responsibility for that shipped item. They will refund the buyer. It will not leave a negative mark on your account, and you will not have to refund and use any of your funds to get that customer their money back. So I love the international sales program. What's the best way to find current clothing trends and keywords? Instagram, Google, and eBay. If you just like I've said, if you just type in, so if you sell men's shirts, just type in men's shirts, go and set it to recently sold, set it to $30, see what's selling for more than $30. That's personally how I found one of my favorite brands, Untuck It. I had no idea that Untuck It was a thing. One day I was just scrolling through, and then the last 100 sells for at least $30. Like 17 of them were Untuck It, and so that's how I learned about Untuck It. Do you cross list or stick strictly to eBay? I am 100% on eBay. I don't want to be on my phone all day delisting items and getting into trouble because I forgot to take something off of eBay that sold off of Poshmark. Now it sells on eBay. Now I don't have it. Now I get one of the biggest dings on my account. So I just stick to eBay. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, that's putting all of your eggs in one basket. Like it is, but like my philosophy behind it is I learn how to do eBay super well and correctly. And then if I ever lost my eBay account, I would just be able to pivot to something else and do it on Poshmark, or even, now I think YouTube would kind of take over if I ever lost my account, but I have no signs of that. I've never been. I got one, so I get like warnings here and there. Like every once in a while, they'll be like, "Hey, you can't sell this because it's a medical item. We're sure you didn't know that. Just don't relist this and don't put up medical items in the future." I listed a Chanel bag like 3 months ago, and it was fake. And so eBay said, "Hey, we're just letting you know this is a fake item. Don't post fake items, or we will have to suspend your account." But I've had my account suspended one time for one day because I accidentally listed 3 pairs of prescription glasses in one day. And so eBay is like, okay, take the day off, go sit in timeout, think about what you've done, and then never post prescription eyeglasses on eBay again. So I haven't. Do you use any special lighting or background? Sorry if already answered. No worries, Mandy. It has not been asked, but even if it was, I would answer again. You guys ready to go on a trip? Whee! This is my photo setup. I turn these lights on. Oh wow, it's nice and dirty right now. I just have these 2 lights, and then I also have this lamp that I got from Target for extra light. And I just have that background with those lights. And I think those lights were $16 each. So very cheap setup. I actually just bought some new lights for YouTube, so it looks better. And I'll probably just end up using those for my listings as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's get it. Next question here. Thanks for the motivation. It really helps knowing someone can do this in 3 to 6 months of hard work. Yeah. So a very prominent belief in entrepreneurship and business is grind your face off. Okay, there's a quote that says, live like no one else so you can live like no one else. If you just grind away for a year, you can get to where I am, where I'm chilling. I'm having a fun time. So yeah, sometimes it takes 80 hours a week. But if you just keep putting in 80 hours a week, as bad as that sounds, I still kind of do that because I just love working. But if you can just string together a ton of 80-hour weeks, you're going to be working 8 hours a week soon if you can really build a foundation. Just be careful that you are allowed to list the item internationally. I sell HBA and have gotten in trouble a few times listing something not allowed to be sold internationally. Just be aware. Yeah, that's very true. So, for example, you're not allowed to purchase or sell knives in Europe, even just a tiny little pocket knife, or even a He-Man sword. You can get Veros and suspended for doing that. So make sure what you are listing doesn't have one of those things on it, so that way you're not getting into trouble. So that's a very awesome tip there, Victoria. Thank you. And you've commented a lot on this live. I really appreciate that. You're giving a lot of really good tips and knowledge. Thanks for going live. Just got home from work, so this is awesome. Sweet. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Where your source, okay, sorry. Your items and where do you source your items and what are your favorite and least favorite places to source? Yeah, so I've talked about this topic a lot. I go to my biggest thrift store every single morning at 9 a.m. Then I go to a few different thrift stores in different locations depending on the day. I do a lot of online shopping off of eBay and off of Facebook Marketplace. I call it sniping. So I snipe it off of those sites and then I sell it on eBay. And yeah, I have a lot of connections with people that buy storage units and go to the bins and they bring me product as well. So the best way to source is to have other people do it for you. Dropping in to say hi. Thank you. Hi, Past Life Pickens. What made you start your YouTube channel? Yeah, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I started making $25,000 a month on eBay. And I thought, I wonder if I could make $25,000 a month on YouTube at the same time. And I would love to share how I make $50,000 a month on eBay and YouTube with other people. That's why I started a YouTube channel. What do you do with your medical items that you had on eBay, for instance, CPAP or medicine? You throw that stuff away and stay very, very far away from it. You will get suspended on eBay and you will never be able to get your account back. That is their number one item that they do not mess around with. Do not list anything medical on eBay. If it says RX or if it requires a prescription, which is what RX means, stay as far away from it as you can to keep your account alive and healthy. You definitely gift the most helpful eBay tips on YouTube. Much appreciated. Hey, I really appreciate that. You give some of the best compliments in YouTube lives on YouTube. Thanks, Pokemaster Zen. I have a lot of followers that have Pokemon in their name. So eventually I'll do some sort of video that caters towards Pokemon cards and memorabilia and things like that. So thank you. All right, we got 3 more comments / questions here. Is it possible to get in touch with you to ever get some insight on anything like that related to eBay and reselling? Yeah, I have my business contact email in my description on my main channel. And I also have my Instagram there that you can DM me and ask me anything. Can you go over some no-nos for listings, aka items eBay doesn't want you to list? You mentioned prescription glasses and medical devices. Yep, so those are 2 very prominent ones. Another one that's kind of random are those lawn darts. Too many people have thrown those lawn darts up in the sky and get impaled and killed. So you're not allowed to sell them online. You also can't sell anything fake. So if you find a pair of sunglasses that are fake, if you list those, they will be taken down. You will get in trouble. If you sell fake Chanel or Louis Vuitton, or even fake O'Neill or Kirkland signature, you can get in trouble. So don't sell reproductions or bootlegs of anything. Don't sell medical devices, and don't use the word prescription in any of your listings. Hi, Aaron. I really appreciate the schedule you keep yourself on. Is there an app or a calendar you use to keep you on track? Yes, my notes on my iPhone. I just type in my schedule and then there's slight variations every day, but I stick to it almost completely. Aloe says, leave a like. Yeah, we have 44 likes on this, 88 people. 88 people are watching. That is a record for me. It would be really cool if I got 100. I think I'll hit that sometime. Probably not this video, though. Still need to grow a little bit, but I really appreciate everyone being here. John Myers says, do you have a big thrift store near you to do what you do? So I live in a smaller town that is growing very fast. We have one big thrift store that I would say is like 20,000 square feet. So it's a really big one. And then I just have 3 really, really, really tiny thrift stores. So I have to travel to other towns to get to the bigger thrift stores. Why 2.6? That seems very specific. Also, what do you think of dynamic promotions? I haven't tried dynamic promotions. I've just never had a need to. I'm sure they can make you some money. The reason why I do 2.6 is because there's this philosophy in sales that once you go up, you can't go down. So if I was selling you, I use this example a lot because I did pest control sales for 5 or 6 years and I owned a pest control company. If I told you, hey, we're going to go ahead and do pest control for you, it's going to be $100. And then you are like kind of hesitant about that. And then you're like, oh, well, I can also throw in this special package and it's just $29 more. Then there's no chance. Like you can't go from 100 to 129 to get the sale, but you can go from 129 down to 100. So with that philosophy in mind, if I did 10% promoted listings on eBay and then went back down to 5, I think my sales would just hit the fan. So I started at 1.1 because the minimum was 1. Then I went up to 1.5. Then they upped the minimum to 2%. So I put mine to 2.1. And then one day I just decided my sales were just like kind of stagnating a little bit. So I put up to 2.6. And that was enough to get things rolling even more again. And so now I just keep it at 2.6. They could eventually get to 3 one day. I don't know. But right now it's just 2.6. It hasn't, the specificity of it is I just thought a lot of people would do 2.5 and I just want to be slightly ahead of the fold. But a lot of people do like 10%, 15%, which is a little crazy to me. Chris Buxton said, found a blue line today for $5. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. Love how you're sharing the knowledge. You're the man. Haha. Thank you. I enjoy sharing it. Emerald City Resale says, just began watching your videos 2 days ago. Already paid off with a great remote control find. Thank you. What was it? Was it a Logitech? Was it a Bose? Yeah, remotes can make you a ton of money. Thanks a bunch for being here. Thank you, Tilly Tornado. Are you related to Harry Tornado? Just kidding. Thank you for answering my question. Which accounting software do you use? Any recommendations for something that integrates with eBay well? Yeah, I use pen and paper. I write everything down. I really enjoy numbers in that process. Did you guys hear that? That was a 13-year-old cracking the voice right there. Yeah, I just like to do everything myself. So sorry that can't point you in a good direction there. I do a lot of estate sales out here in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. I asked AI, I said, if I were to resell used items online, where would be the best place to live in the United States? And it said San Francisco, San Jose area. And then I asked it specifically, where would be the best place to find and sell video games? And it said Chicago. Apparently there's a ton of Nintendo collectors in Chicago. I believe that like people really liked Michael Jordan. So they started collecting Bulls stuff, and then it just kind of created this collection culture. And so a lot of people collected video games, I guess, in Chicago. So if you're in Chicago, start selling video games. How far do you drive and or willing to drive to go to a garage sale on average? Like 30 minutes. Yeah, garage sales, I can usually find like 10 to 20 of them in my town, and that's good enough for me. When you first went full-time, did you have a daily listing goal, or was it just list as much as possible? Yeah, I've always had a listing goal, and I would just, once you go up, you can't go down. So I would always make sure to list. If I was only finding 50 items a week on average, I would make sure to only list 5 every day so I could always hit 5. Then once I got better at sourcing, I would up it to 8, and then 10, and then 15, 20, and then 25. Now I have the confidence that I could get 4,000 items a week if I absolutely needed to. So now I just get to pick what amount of listings I will do. Both Cinemate, yep, that's an awesome remote. Wide Breath Wave is pretty good, and it's free. I guess that's accounting software. I've been Tilly Tornado for 15 years. Started watching Harry Tornado because we share the name, and I love watching him. Haley and Mose, yeah, that's funny. Were you a student of tech and sports and daily refinement? I've been a student of YouTube since I started doing this. I've been doing this for 20 months. I built my store up to 2,000 listings, and then I joined the Reseller Nirvana group, and I've been a part of it for like 2 months. And yeah, just been in the group. No, I think it's been 3 months now. Something along those lines. Yeah, I've learned a lot from them. They've really reinforced good habits that I have. don't do a lot in the group. A lot of people, they have a ton of calls every day. They have like 2, sometimes 3 calls every single day of the week. So they do about anywhere from 15 to 20 calls a week, and I've been to 3 calls in total. So, what is your average monthly product expense amount and ROI? I have an average cost of goods of $3.88, and my average item sells for $45. My average item sells for $43.26, and my average profit before mileage and supplies is $26.99. After everything is taken out, including taxes and tithes, I make $23. What is the best vehicle to get for a part-time seller? Okay, meaning it should be able to store inventory, have good mileage for trips and thrift stores, post office. Okay, this is a life business hack. If you are serious about living financially free and just killing it as a business owner, get a Honda Accord or a Toyota Corolla. I have a Volkswagen Jetta. I used to have a truck, but I decided to just downgrade so that way I can be a millionaire. um, so yeah, if you can get a really fuel efficient car and just drive it for 10 years and take care of it, it's going to financially explode your future. Do you source at the bins? No, I have someone do that for me. But yeah, guys, hour and 11 minutes. My wife just texted me that my dinner is done, which is awesome. She is amazing. 86 people are currently here. We have 51 likes, and that was the last question that I currently have. So yeah, Honda, a bunch of people are talking about Honda Civics. Honda Civic is awesome. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone coming here. Again, I just want to express my gratitude to everyone. I got my first donation today. That's awesome. Definitely gonna put that on a picture and put it up in my office somewhere. So thank you for that. I had no idea that people would come and listen to some dude talk about selling junk on eBay. So yeah, I really appreciate it. If you guys want to just keep watching my videos, that's very appreciated. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna hop off here. 58 likes. Thank you guys. Hour and 12 minutes. Thanks for all the questions. I love doing live, so I'll hop on and do some more. Thanks, guys.